FRENCHY Panthers. Welcome to the Panther Report, Halloween edition. I'm Crystal Jordan.
And I'm Joseph Shepard. Man, I'm so excited about Halloween, parties, food, trick-or-treating.
Oh, that's cute. You still go trick-or-treating?
Well, no, I meant for the kids. Whatever, Crystal.
All right, well, speaking of food, Joseph, have you ever had trouble finding a place to eat after a long day of classes, but you don't want to overpay? Panther Report is here to help. Let's check out what our reporters found out this week.
Are you tired of only eating at the Panther's Den? Have you ever heard about Rose's Pizza, where you get 2 slices of pizza plus a large drink for only $6? Let's see what Rose's patrons had to say about it.
I'm Joni, and I'm here at the best pizza place, the closest you're gonna get to New York pizza from real Italians. I live up north, and I also live up north down here, and I come all the way here just to get this pizza. The best.
My favorite place to eat on campus would probably have to be Kinley's. It's a nice little hole-in-the-wall spot that's really historic, so that's where I like to eat.
I mean, people like to eat fast food, you know what I'm saying? You go on Broad Street, you can get your Checkers, you can get your Taco Bell, Pizza Hut, all that right there in a good area, Subway.
Like Pizza Hut or Taco Bell?
Yeah, I think Taco Bell. It's cheap.
Yeah. Cheap is good, especially when you have no money.
Have you ever been to One Cafe Blanc? We went behind the scenes at One Cafe Blanc to see what exactly it is that they do.
Hello, my name is Jonathan McDowell. I'm the executive chef here at One Cafe Blanc. Here at One Cafe Blanc, we have kind of a grab-and-go kind of concept. We do build your own burgers. We have build your own salads and a panini bar, which basically you can create your own panini as well. But we want to make it as quick and as easy for the our local professionals around as also for students. We know students that don't have very much money. We're definitely on the lower end of the spectrum as far as food goes. So I try to bring the freshest product as I possibly can for just the best value as possible for the for the students as well. So we try to use fresh local ingredients from here in Atlanta. I use more that upscale kind of quality when I do the food, and we just try to work a little bit harder for our customer to give them that value, and that's basically what we do here at One Cafe Blanc.
Let's check out what's been going on with GSU sports this week.
Hey guys, we're back again with Panther Report Sports Beat. I'm Jackie Brittain. We've had a jam-packed week full of sporting events, so we're here to give you all of the updates as well as what's to come. As we move into the winter season, some fall games are wrapping up, but others are pressing forward. And we also have a special guest in the studio with us today. You've probably seen him around campus or at least on Georgia State's homepage. He is consistently bleeding blue for our Prowling Panthers, so stay tuned to find out who it is. But first, with our main story on volleyball, the team has been steadily holding their own as they ventured into the conference season. The ladies were undefeated and lost 2 extremely tough matches against George Mason and James Madison. The ladies are now in 4th place for the conference, and we were able to catch up with them right after practice to check out what they had to say. Okay, Venice, thank you for joining us. So actually, you've only been here, this is your 2nd year at Georgia State, and this is the 3rd time in 2 seasons that you've won the CAA Player of the Week honors. Tell us what that has been like for you. Is there any added pressure now that you have these awards?
No, none at all. It's such an honor to be recognized by the CAA, but I don't think that there's any pressure. I just got to keep doing what I'm doing, and, my teammates are a large part of why I got that recognition. My job is pretty much the easiest job in volleyball, so props to them.
So now we are with Coach Tammy Audia. This is her 1st year at Georgia State, and you were the assistant coach and recruiting coordinator before you came to us from the University of Dayton in Ohio. So while you were there, you were only there for 5 years, and you guys had 4 NCAA tournament invitations. So how do you plan to implement that success here at Georgia State?
Well, basically about hard work. I think the girls are kind of realizing this year that they're playing a whole lot more volleyball and talking a lot about more volleyball. But it all comes down to hard work.
Okay, let's talk football. Even though Georgia State football is the newest edition of sports here, they're definitely not acting like it. The Panthers practically kicked Savannah State out of the dome with a final score of 55-21. That's what we're talking about, guys. And they also hosted North Carolina Central. So we got some footage on that game, and take a look at this.
We just scored a touchdown by Danny Williams, which puts us in the lead 17-14. This has been a really, really tough game for our Panthers, so we're very proud of them for pulling through.
Okay, so as we move into the winter months, let's talk about basketball. The men's first home game is on November 11th, but that's only an exhibition. The real fun starts on November 19th when the guys will host Troy University. All of Georgia State needs to be on the lookout for Code Blue, which is hosted and brought to you by the Department of Hospitality. There will be food, entertainment, and plenty of games. So make sure that you're at the sports arena on November 19th to cheer on the guys and kick off the season to basketball. The ladies soccer team is on a roll. They're bringing home wins on a pretty consistent basis. They now hold the number 7th spot in the Mid-Atlantic Regional Rankings, which is a first here for the women's soccer team at Georgia State. Our congratulations definitely go out to them. So be sure and show your support at their last home game, October 30th, 1 p.m. Okay, now that we've kept you waiting long enough, here with me today is Frenchy. Frenchy is known as our school spirit leader and advocate. So thank you for joining us here today.
Thank you.
I absolutely love your Blue Blitz music video. So for the students who don't really know what we're talking about, we're going to show you a clip, so take a look.
We in the A, on the Panther side, wearing all blue. Must be that Panther pride. You see the school spirit, but we need more of that. How many of us ride MARTA, then go to class, then go back home? We need a new tradition, starting in 2010. We about to do it different. Football season is upon us, and we got us a team.
Okay, so first start by telling us, how do you make it manageable to stay involved on campus?
Well, it is kind of a task because I don't stay on campus, so I just make sure I keep a schedule, know when games are going on.
The main problem is we're trying to make sure that students kind of revolve their schedules around events going on campus. So what changes would you like to see with the student body?
I just want to see people be more spirited.
So like you mentioned, you do commute, and I do as well. So what is your advice to everyone else who commutes and uses that as an excuse to not come to events here?
MARTA is smarter, okay? you can get on MARTA, you can still be involved, okay? It doesn't really take that long to get on the train and hop to the school, you know? Yeah. And I could take the train to school and stay here all day and go to an event and then go back home, you know? MARTA runs till like what, 12 midnight, 1 o'clock.
So what do you think is the best part about being a Panther?
Best part of being a Panther?
We love your energy.
The best part of being a Panther, I think we're in a unique position right now. I mean, it just speaks volumes that we're on the cover of ESPN. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
All right, guys. Well, you heard it from the leader himself, so be sure to check out Georgia State Sports online for a full detailed schedule of all the events coming up, and thank you for watching.
And now for this week's special report. This week we got to speak with Zanny Minton-Beddoes. She's the editor-in-chief of the economics section of The Economist. Let's check out the interview.
We would like you to explain in layman's terms what is the U.S. economic recession about? What is it all about?
What's going on in the U.S. economy? That is a rather depressing question. Well, we've been through what was the worst recession since the 1930s. It officially finished a year ago. They announced a few days ago that it officially finished a year ago, but what we're in now is a very, very weak recovery. The economy's growing, but it's just not growing fast enough to get the unemployment rate down. The unemployment rate is about 10%, just below, 9.6%. That means a huge number of people don't have jobs and want jobs. And the big question is, why is the economy recovering so weakly? Yeah. And I think the main answer is that we're in the hangover after the biggest housing bust in history. People could kind of use their houses like an ATM machine. They could borrow more money on the back of their rising house prices. And house prices have now bust. They've gone down a lot. Then we had that huge financial crisis when the financial system virtually seized up in 2008. Lehman Brothers, the famous investment bank, went bust. And that pushed the economy into this deep hole. And we're now gradually, very, very slowly climbing out of it. And like all hangovers, I don't know if you've ever had a hangover, but like all hangovers, it takes a long time, and it's going to be a long, long haul to get the economy back on track.
So do you think that the United States is going to be like it was before?
No, I think it's going to be a very different kind of economy. I think that we're not going to go back to those old days where house prices were soaring, where people had easy access to credit, where everybody who wanted one could get a credit card, where you could borrow and borrow and borrow. I think now people are going to be paying down debt for a while. People are realizing they need to save more. So the whole model of this economy has to shift a bit.
You were telling us that you don't think that the U.S. economy is ever going to be how it was before. So what do you think that college students need to do in order to get ready for when they actually graduate from school, be able to get a good job?
They need to study, they need to get skills, they need to get skills, they need to get skills. I think this is going to be an economy where the returns to getting skills is always going to be there. But in this modern age, in an age of globalization where the big emerging economies, China, India, Brazil, are all growing very fast, are all able to do things they weren't able to do before, the advantage of the United States is in large part it's going to be a high skill advantage. So the premium on getting skills, on getting good qualifications is bigger than ever.
And what do you think is the best resource for students to get knowledgeable about economics?
Oh, well, obviously The Economist. No, seriously. I think, I really do think some economics and some basic finance is really important, even if you have no intention of ever going anywhere near being an economist. You don't have to be an economist, but it's important to have that sort of basic level of understanding.
And do you think, now that we're talking about students borrowing money and they need to save more money and they're getting into huge loans, and most of the students actually, they get in high debt when they graduate from school because they actually got these huge loans. Do you think that that really affects the economy of the overall country as a whole?
Well, I think there's a big difference between students borrowing money to gain the skills that will then enable them to get the jobs that will enable them to pay the debts back. That's a different kind of borrowing than the over-borrowing that people did who used their houses like a credit card and then spent it on vacations or on just buying a bigger TV. So students investing in their skill base and investing in training and investing in their own future is a worthwhile investment to make. That's different to overspending on the back of your credit cards. And so I think we need to kind of separate those two. I think it is a problem that rising tuition is a problem, and university fees are rising so fast that it will become harder and harder for some people to gain the skills that they'll need. But I think it's important to distinguish between borrowing money to invest in yourself and borrowing money just to spend on a vacation.
Downtown Atlanta's Poplar and Forsyth Streets were filled with the arts this week.
So you can feel free to come up and look.
GSU held its annual arts fair on Wednesday, October 20th. Students from several university organizations came together to display their talents with the faculty, staff, and community of GSU. Art groups like the Graphic Design Club, Photography, and the Screen Printing Clubs proudly showed off their artwork. Each club had an individual booth set up displaying their craft.
Color prints. And these are with color film using a color processor.
These over here are different types of monoprints. Basically, it's a type of printmaking technique that's like painting, but then you press it onto the paper.
Major Matters, a program that helps students choose the right majors as well as broaden their college experiences, was also at the celebration, highlighting GSU's academic opportunities in the arts.
We recognize that in order to give the information that we offer to students, we need to be in more than one place at one time.
Participants were also able to enjoy free food and music. Other featured guests was the Feed Your Senses event, the Ernest G. Welch School of Art and Design, and the Student Jazz Band. Reporting from the Arts Fair, Elena Coates, GSTV.